ABC Local Radio, across Queensland, Phil Brandell filling in for Susan Graham-Ryan today. At 9 minutes to 11, do you have a hobby? Do you dabble in gardening, knitting, craft, wood carvings, maybe hiking, climbing? Hobbies are a way to learn and express ourselves and to fill in our time doing things that we enjoy. They could also be good for your mind as well. Psychology expert Dr. Joe Lukens joins me now to discuss. Good morning, Dr. Joe.
Good morning, Phil.
Let's start at the beginning, though, before we get into why hobbies are good for us. What is the definition of a hobby?
This is an interesting question. And in addition to enjoying Boom Crash Opera, we just debated that, didn't we, as to what it is and where the boundaries fall. What we certainly know about hobbies is they are activities or pursuits that we have that generally bring us pleasure or enjoyment. We just had the discussion, can you generate income from a hobby? What does that actually look like? And I think for a lot of people, having activities that you do that you enjoy is the important part of it. But what we'll find from person to person is there's lots of variability in terms of what we define as being a hobby and what is not.
Because I was just saying to you, I love going to the beach, spending all day at the beach, reading, going in the water, the salt water, the sun, all of those different things. But people wouldn't class that as a hobby.
No, and I think when you said it to me, I went, well, that sounds like a pastime to me or an activity that you might do. And I wonder if for some of us, the definition of a hobby is about the output that might come from it. So from gardening, however your roses look when you're finished, or you're cooking what you've produced. And I guess how much does that even matter? But what we know matters is having activities that we engage in and bring us that sense of fulfillment.
So psychologically, how important are hobbies?
They can be very important. So in terms of having what we might call a psychologically rich life, that's really about having lots of different experiences. And of course, hobbies give us the opportunity to do that. So for those people who are spending majority of their week perhaps in employment or in caring for others, whatever it might be that they're doing, having hobbies, activities that you do that you particularly enjoy for the pleasure of doing the activity, whatever it might be, become incredibly important. And it's a time often for us to spend time by ourselves and to do those activities. Sometimes they involve other people, but it really gives us that chance to practice some of those skills that are important for us, like patience and finding enjoyment in the things that we're doing.
I've spoken and interviewed a few people that do craft, say making model houses or knitting or crocheting, and they say to me, and I think I get this when I go scuba diving, that they're just concentrating on that one thing and everything else, all the other noise
stands still.
Is shut down. Yeah. How is that important?
Yeah, that's incredibly important. So what we would typically, from a psychology perspective, look at is the fact that we all operate within 3 dimensions of time. So there is our past, there is our future, and there's what we're doing right now. And one of the really nice things about hobbies is that it does tend to, I guess, highlight the focus of what we're doing right now. So if you are building like a little craft house or something like that, I can only imagine the level of concentration that needs to go of putting the glue on the edge and having it all line up and so forth. So we certainly know that when our head isn't in the right place at the right time, we often make mistakes. And so crafts, hobbies, all of those kind of activities set us up well for being in the moment.
What about stress relief?
Yeah, it can certainly work that way as well. Again, usually if we're spending time on a hobby, we've devoted a certain amount of time to it. So we've said no to all the other things that are going on in our lives. Hopefully it's something that we enjoy, although I have met some crafty souls who say that there are some stressful moments to what they do. But we know it gives you a chance to switch off from the rest of the world, give you some energy, maybe a sense of accomplishment by the time you finish doing whatever it is. You've learnt something new, all those sort of things that tick the box for us in terms of our well-being.
I'm chatting with Dr. Joe Lukens this morning, psychology expert. We're talking about hobbies and why they're important to your mental health. Another part of hobbies is if you're doing your hobby with like-minded people, the social aspect of it with being with your tribe.
Yes.
How is that important?
Incredibly important. So what we know for our overall well-being is that people matter. So finding ways to connect with others and obviously having common ground, something like a hobby is a good way to do it. So I have to confess, I was swimming this morning and I was eavesdropping down at the pool and I heard some people talking and one of them said to the other ones, oh, do you still play cards? Oh, yes, I play euchre. And I could hear them lining up a card game. So again, those moments of connection become really important for us, and particularly those shared experiences as well. So we feel like we belong, we feel like we connect, and we know that when we do all of those things, it's good for our mental health and our well-being.
Is it the meeting of minds? Is it more than just having something in common which breaks the ice? Is it having peers that understand you? Is that part of
It
the...
is, and it's feeling accepted, and it's feeling so. If you have a particular hobby, whatever it might be, and someone else does too, whilst we might not need the validation, it's nice when it comes along. So, if I meet someone else, I like photography. So if I meet someone else that likes photography, we've got some common ground to talk about. I feel like someone understands me. I might have something to offer them. They've definitely got something to offer me. So it becomes that opportunity to connect with others.
Dr. Jo, thank you so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure.
Dr. Jo Lukens there, psychology expert, having a chat about hobbies and the importance that they play in everyday life.